Colleagues, I'd like to call to order the Rules Policy and Industrial Relations Committee for February 27, 2025. It is 10:36. Madam Chair, please, Madam Secretary, can you please call the roll?
Thank you and good morning again. Starting with Director Conroy, who's absent. Garbarino.
Present.
Hill.
Here.
Parr is absent. Thier.
Present.
Vice Chair Moulton Peters is absent. Chair Hernandez.
Here.
And President Cochran.
There.
Thank you. You have a quorum, but you're not a committee of the whole. Looks like Director Giudice is gone, so we are still just going to be the committee.
All right, well, thank you. We have no action part today, but we do have a report by our wonderful Artemis Davenport. Good morning. Agenda item number 3 is the annual progress status report and update on the Disadvantaged Business Enterprise Program. Good morning, Tima. How are you?
I'm blessed. Good morning. How's everybody?
It's nice to see you.
Good to see you
Looking
all.
forward to your report.
All right, awesome. Thank you for the opportunity to present to you today an annual update and progress report on the Disadvantaged Business Enterprise or DBE program. Just as a quick summary, DBE is defined or identified as a minority or woman-owned firm who has control and ownership of the company, who is a minority, Black, Hispanic, Native American, Asian Pacific, subcontinent Asian, or a woman, or any one other group on a case-by-case basis that can prove that they have been socially and economically disadvantaged. And with that, their annual gross receipts cannot exceed the 30.72 million, nor their personal net worth could exceed 2.047 million. So just a quick update on what a DBE is or considered to be. This report does cover the federal fiscal year 23 to 24. A lot has happened in this year. But it does start October 1st, 2023 through September 30th of 2024. So if you're following along, I'm in section A, just the Federal Transit Administration or FTA update. So under the Biden and Harris administration, the US DOT did issue a notice to of proposed rulemaking to the DBE program. This attempt was to enhance the effectiveness of the DBE program, strengthen some areas of the program, expand opportunities, relax some of the processes for certification to allow more firms to become certified, also to provide clarity onto vague and broad areas of the regulations. And so with this, there was a USDOT did a public announcement on April 9th of the final rule. Some of the timelines did require recipients to update their programs within 30 days in some areas. So the final rule was effective May 9th of 2024. One of the most or a substantial area in the regs is identifying, they kind of went to a tier approach, tier 1 recipients, tier 2 recipients. The district did fall under a tier 1, which simply means we expected over $670,000 in FTA assistance for the purposes of planning, operating, and capital projects. So with that, tier 1s are fully have to implement a full DBE program. Tier 2, they do have some requirements that they have to meet, but they do not need to submit an updated DBE program. So the district did make some changes, submitted the updated program to FTA by October 9th of 2024. We are still waiting approval for our program. We're actually, in fact, this year, fiscal year 2024 to 2025, in our last year of the DBE triennial goal. So I will be before you with some recommendations in the coming months. But our current goal is 1.4% that we were expected to meet in 2023-2024. We are expected to establish our overall goal by August 1st of this year. So with that, we've already started the goal methodology process or goal setting process. And that's pretty much it for the FTA update. Moving on to item or section B for the Federal Highway Administration update. The district is a subrecipient of Caltrans for federal highway projects. And fiscal year 23-24 marked the last year of Caltrans' overall DBE goal, which was set at 22.2%. Expected to be met by 3.9% of race neutral participation, or and then 18.3% using race conscious DBE goals. So with that, in 23-24, Caltrans did commission BBC Research and Consulting to conduct another disparity study, which is one way you can establish your overall goal is through the disparity study. And the results of that study did resulted in a 21.35% overall DBE goal. So the district's participation in helping Caltrans meet its statewide goals is we are required to set DBE goals on FHWA assisted contracts. This is the only time that the district establishes DBE goals, and they must need to be approved by Caltrans when we set those goals. With that, Caltrans has made some updates to its local assistant procedures manual in January of 2025. But before I go there, I'm sorry, we did award one contract, federal highway funds, which was our contract 2023 B015, the Golden Gate Bridge Seismic Retrofit Project. Which is we're utilizing the construction management general contractor alternative method for pre-construction services. We also awarded several value change orders on FHWA assisted contracts. We do treat change orders as new awards because there are possibly with the scope of work that changes presents opportunities to DBEs. So with that one contract award and several contract change order awards, we did award over 10.7 million in federal highway funds. Of that, over $1 million went to DBE firms. We will continue to adhere to the requirements of Caltrans' statewide DBE goal. And with that, I'm moving on to section C. So this is the USDOT update. Again, 23-24 kind of hit the DBE program pretty hard as USDOT is facing some legal challenges. In September of 2024, the U.S. District Court of the Eastern District of Kentucky did issue a preliminary injunction prohibiting USDOT from applying their DBE program for these two plaintiffs, Mid-America Milling Company and Bagshaw Trucking, that are out of Kentucky and Indiana. And so with this, there needed to be some clarity. The plaintiffs did file, or there was a motion filed in October to provide clarity on what this preliminary injunction really means. And for that, the courts did not issue a nationwide injunction. This is only for in Kentucky and Indiana, or where these two companies plan to bid on state contracts. Meaning there's about 25 potential states that these firms might plan to do business. With that, if there is a DBE goal set on those contracts that they are interested in, the owner or agency would have to pull that solicitation, zero out the DBE goal. However, if there is DBE participation on that contract, the rules would still apply. It just means that DBE participation was achieved race neutrally. So California was not on this list. USDOT did issue a memorandum to state departments to kind of give them some guidance on how to go about this. And it's just as simple, if these companies want to do business on a project, that goal will have to be zeroed out. This case is set to go to trial on January 26th of 2026. So until then, we are continuing to operate as 49 CFR Part 26 is still law. And so we will adjust accordingly or as needed. I'm on section D. or I'm sorry, before I move to section D, I do want to inform that the Business Outreach Committee is hosting a DBE legal update with Colette Holt and Associates. And this webinar is going to be on March 4th at 5 o'clock in the evening, Pacific Standard Time. It will be a webinar, and it's just to inform the DBE community of some of the cases that are going on, some of the legal challenges, and offer some resources and strategies. So in light of all of the chaos and everything that's going on, these DBEs will have resources and some strategies on how to continue the growth of their business and be successful in light of everything that's going on. That just seems to unfold day by day, every other day. Section D, the Disadvantaged Business Enterprise Project Goal. So as you are aware that the district is procuring new ferry vessels. We are 80% complete with the engineering and design phase. This is on contract number 2022 F012. And with that, the district did submit a letter to FTA to approve a DBE project goal. So I'm sorry, I did mention the only time we set goals, DBE goals are on FHWA assisted contracts and on this, on a TBM procurement, which is a transit vehicle manufacturer. We have to have approval. This is kind of a workaround on how to meet or stay in compliance with the regulations, as shipyards do not have their own DBE programs, which means the agency would need to set a DBE project goal to meet the rules set in section 26.49. So with that, we did establish a 1.55% DBE goal. As of the time of this report, the DBE has not started work. However, they are expected to do their portion of work in the coming months. That they are tasked with performing Buy America compliance audits for the vessels. What's not in this report, just kind of an update to let you know where we are today. As we continue to purchase ferry vessels, this project goal is just on the Liwa vessel. I am in contact with FTA on how to go about, there's a lot of uncertainty and even seeking guidance from FTA on how to go about either amending our letter for this 1.55% to include additional ferry vessels, or if we're going to be directed to establishing a whole new goal on the new ferry vessels. So we're still I'm working with our ferry staff and FTA. We're trying to figure out the answer because there is no answer yet. Another thing with the modifications to the rules is that prior agencies would have to seek approval from FTA to set a DBE project goal before the solicitation could even be advertised. So now with the modifications, we are able to inform FTA of the decision to establish a DBE goal on a TBM procurement. And so that's kind of where we are with that. I do have meetings scheduled next week to flesh all this out. Moving on to section E, the small business enterprise contract specific goals, the status on where we are with that. The district has been pretty successful in its SBE program. This allows opportunities for all small businesses to bid on our contracts. We do try to encourage DBE participation as all DBEs are considered to be small businesses. We have one sub-recipient, which is the city of Sausalito, and any DBE, they have adopted the district's DBE and SBE program. So any DBE participation on any FTA pass down funds that the city awards on those FTA assisted contracts, the district would be able to count that participation towards the goal. And on the design phase of the ferry landside improvement project, there has been DBE participation on that design phase and some contract change awards. So we're able to count that. So that the city has helped us, which I'm going to share some good news that we met our goal. The city has helped us meet that goal. In addition to, if you turn, you see the table of the contracts that we did set small business goals on. The table kind of speaks for itself with the SBE commitments and then areas where we're still struggling with DBE participation. There are on the ferry contracts, it's just always going to be a struggle for us. But as you can see on the construction, the San Rafael parking lot improvement, solar panel installation project, we were able to obtain some DBE participation. So between the combination of City and Sausalito's DBE obtainment, as well as on this contract, we were able to meet our goal. And so we'll continue to utilize our SBE program. It is a race neutral means of obtaining DBE participation. So moving on to section F, this kind of covers all funding sources, FTA, FHWA, and 100% district funded contracts. We do track that, have tracked that here. And as mentioned, the overall goal was 1.4% for fiscal year 23-24. And even though 2.8%, we awarded 11 million in FTA assisted contracts. Of that, over 315,000 went to DBEs. You know, it looks sad to get excited about the 2.8% achievement. However, in our unique situation with the maritime contracts and then the few contracts that we did award in this fiscal year, I'm ecstatic about 2.8%. And finally, I can tell you there is no shortfall analysis in this report for this reporting period. So hallelujah to that. Okay, going to the FHWA table. As mentioned earlier, we awarded 10 million in FHWA assisted contracts and over $1 million went to DBEs, which is equivalent to 9.5% awarded to DBEs. And then the final table, district-wide, the over 2.4 million was directly paid to DBE. So these are the district's DBE vendors that we utilize during this time. And then payments to DBE subcontractors, a total of over 87,000 for a total of over 2.5 million that went to DBE firms. So this was shorter in the past years. Do you have any questions for me?
Comments, any questions? Yes, Director Mask.
Yes. First, I want to thank you for all the work you do on behalf of the district with these programs. My question is, are you hearing anything about, relative to the chaos you mentioned earlier, relative to changes at the federal level that may affect programs?
So there's just a lot of uncertainty, and the questions that I'm asking FTA, the response is, we don't know. So it's just, I can't get definite answers. I think just as things unfold day by day, the district just adjust accordingly. We made the necessary changes, and in fact, we are going to be looking at our small business program, changing some of the language, looking at our standard template language and making some updates as necessary. But as far as, I mean, it's all impacted. It's going to be, we have to establish this triennial DBE goal. And with that, we have to know what contracts over the next 3 years are going to be federally funded. And it just feels impossible to do that right now. Although I have not sat down yet with the project managers and John and his team in engineering and, all of the departments to figure out our capitals and grants, what is going to be federally funded. So yes, because everything has a time frame. I will be before you, I believe in April or May. Well, May, we do have some public participation meetings already scheduled. And that's the time where the board would adopt the proposed goal. And then that proposed goal is then shared with stakeholders that this is what we're proposing, and they have an opportunity to comment on. So meeting the deadlines, that's probably the biggest impact, but we will figure out a way to do it and it will get done.
Okay.
If I may.
Thank you.
I was on a call with Ray Tellis, the Region 9 Administrator, earlier this week. The executive orders do a lot of things. They can rescind prior executive orders, but there's some existing laws and regulations. So at this juncture, we have to comply with existing regulations from the Federal Transit Administration and the Federal Highway Administration until such time as those are changed. There's certain things administratively that can do vis-a-vis reporting, but some of the things that are that we do are specified currently in law and regulation. And so at this time, it's business as usual until it's not. Clearly, the intent of the executive orders is quite clear. But we can't ignore an FTA regulation that gives us, certain requirements that we have to do certain things by certain dates. But we shouldn't be surprised if the administration works to undo some of that to the extent they can. And there's already litigation on the first wave of executive orders that dealt with DEI issues that has been filed. And so there's 26 state attorney generals that are looking after the interests of this program as well as money flowing to states.
Thank you.
Other questions or comments, Director Snyder?
No, I just really appreciate the report, and you're right, at probably one of the most difficult positions now in the district. And I really appreciate all the work you're doing, and it's just ironic to try to do the right thing has been turned on its head, and it looks like we're going to be penalized for trying to do the right thing and try to make things better for people, and it's just such a deeply challenging timeline. And I appreciate
Right.
what you're doing going forward, and whatever self and the board members can do to help mitigate anything. Of course, we're here to kind of support
Thank you.
our goals are.
Sure, thank you.
Director Theo.
I want to echo my fellow Director Snyder's comments. You are amazing. You do amazing work. And I know that even in this administration and this climate, we will find a way to provide opportunities for small businesses. And I know that you're still going to be here for many, many years. So, it's a very difficult climate right now. And everything we've worked for to provide equity in contracting is being threatened. But I'm confident, as we did, during the first Trump administration, we found ways to continue the great work that we're doing without threatening our federal funding. And I know that we will do that again. And I'm confident that will happen, and that businesses will continue to thrive in our state. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate all the support.
First Vice President Hill, please.
Got your back.
Thank you. Need that cushion.
Anyone else? Okay, well, thank you, team, as always, for your comprehensive report. Just wanted, you didn't seem impressed with regard to the goal and then the DBE participation with the FTA. The goal was 1.4 and the participation was double. So although it wasn't a huge number, it still was double what the goal was. And this is just one example of the many things that we know you work hard on. And we have full confidence that, with our support, you will help us find ways to do the important work, continue the important work with the quality that is required and that is
Absolutely.
deserving.
Thank you.
So thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you. I appreciate your time. Thank you, everyone. Have a good day.
Is there any, thank you very much. Madam Secretary, is any public comment on this item?
We have no callers on this item.
Thank you. Is there any public comment, Madam Secretary, on any other item that is not immediately in front of us today?
We have no speakers for this committee.
Thank you. Thank you very much. In that case, I'll say again, thank you to our presenter today, Tima. And thank you to colleagues for your thoughtful comments. And I will entertain a motion to adjourn, please. Thank you. The motion to adjourn has been made and seconded. Is there anyone opposed to adjourn? Seeing no one opposed to adjourning, I will say thank you. And this meeting is concluded. Thank you very much.